See a completely non-racial society. We don't believe, for instance, in the so-called guarantees for minority rights, because guaranteeing minority rights implies the recognition of portions of the community on a race basis. We believe that in our country there shall be no minority, there shall be no majority, there shall just be people. And those people will have the same status before the law, and they will have the same political rights before the law. So in a sense, it will be a completely non-racial egalitarian society.
But will the vast number of blacks, after all their experiences, be able to live a life without giving vent to feelings of revenge? Or
say to people who call your music vulgar, misogynistic, offensive, degrading?
No, if that's what you think about the music, if that's what you categorize it under, then so be it. All those things made me who I am, and I am a very successful man. Please keep looking out for more, because it's coming, baby.
Example, like when I said black culture promotes degeneracy, that's something that everybody knows. Like, you listen to any rap music, like Durk. I listen to Lil Durk all the time. He's rapping about murder all the time, like literally all the time. And he's Muslim, and I hope, alhamdulillah, he becomes a better Muslim. But he's rapping about murder constantly. That he knows that will sell more music. He knows that rap beef and like, I'm gonna kill you, you're gonna kill me. Bro, you're 29 with kids, still talking about like killing other people, and you're gonna risk your life over music. Mm-hmm. Like everything that hip hop promotes, besides Ye and besides a few like Christian rap or stuff like that, it's all just drugs, murder.
Also known as Nature Boy, and he must remain at the DeKalb County Jail until his trial.
11 Les Palacero was in the courtroom today as he faced a judge.
Eligio Bishop, also known as Nature Boy, quietly stepped foot inside the courtroom to face DeKalb County Superior Court Judge Stacey Heydrich. Bishop faces charges including rape and false imprisonment. DeKalb County police arrested him last year after a former cult member who identified herself as his girlfriend spoke up saying he posted sexually explicit videos of her online without her consent.
In their fear that we may be hiding something in their prison, I had to do this every day before my wife visited me. And the first time I got a hug from my daughter, I was in prison. And I promised my wife if I ever come home, I'm going to think. And I promised my wife if I ever come home, I'm going to think.
The state disagreeing, saying he could intimidate witnesses, especially victims, and claiming he's a flight risk as he's been deported from several Central American countries and has a criminal history in Hawaii.
After Mr. Bishop was arrested, many of the witnesses to this event left the state of Georgia, and they're now residing across the country. We'll also need time in order to possibly use compulsory
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, you fellow believers and supporters of this faith, the truth, and shalom to the hopefully elect. Let me say shalom to the sisters and shalom to the elect. So, this video is inspired. I actually seen the Nature Boy. I think it was a couple days ago that he was on trial. But Elder Manat Bar from GMS South Carolina. Let me make sure I got his whole channel. GMS South Carolina 8. Nature Boy is on trial facing life in prison, and he'll probably get it in this society. I haven't finished. I'm like 10 minutes into this Elder's video, so when I get more likely finish, I'll Lord's will watch the rest. But I just wanted to put this combination together. Another one has bit the dust. So we want to show you that this black conscious community, the movement, It's kind of like a Roman Catholic doctrine. It's an attempt at failed Christianity, the replacement theology to re-educate black people, just like so-called black people, Israelites, right, over in West Africa, just like the HBCU, the Historical Black Colleges and University, I think that's what they call it. There was an abolitionist who had slaves by the name of Richard Humphreys back in the 1800s. In the 1800s, a lot of things happened. You had a lot of religions on the line. And then, this is why I put the clip in there with Steve Biko, he was really like a so-called peacemaker. He just wanted rights for black people and equality, so-called, for black people. So then we see it evolved into black destruction over the years, a more terrorizing destruction. And with the help of the Jesuits and the help of the priest on the left-hand side to push the rap music, to push the fathers out of the home, and they give you that black identity. They knew that would destroy us. Black identity is the worst thing going, right? And now you see Eve with Edom, and they'll claim it's all about their black skin. And you know who supports this? Who pushed this? Not Steve Biko, but the Serenetta, right? They are modernized leaders of the black community who don't follow anything he does follow a little bit of the Roman Catholicism, right? That blacks need independence, blacks need to follow Jesus. They dropped the Jesus Act, but where would it be a black conscious movement without Steve Biko? Now, I remember, I believe Elder Yashawama did a video similar. Now, I could be wrong on the names or whatever, but I read a little bit of this. Let's go to Luke 8:17. Then we'll get back. For nothing is a secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. It's kind of crazy how these Eves, they join these weird guys, these weird groups, even in other Israelite groups or other denominations of different forms of black culture, black belief, right? But it's weird. And then when things go wrong and the fun is taken away, they scurry away. Like the sheep scatter, when the wolf is caught. Anyway, and on this notion of what I'm saying. But anyway, this is Galatians 6:7. It says, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Brother Polite, he shot up the Bible. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Whatever you, kind of like you weathering. I mean, when you, what do you call that? Cropping. Whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. If you sow good, you're going to reap good. If you sow wickedness, you're going to reap wickedness. Right? This man shot up the Bible. This man from Carbonation dogged our belief. By the way, he was a male stripper in one of those alternative lifestyle clubs. And this is what Eve loved, man. It's almost like they should be on trial too. You know what I'm saying? But the serpent will always run to the rescue to put one of the wolves away, right? Because they knew what they were doing. I mean, they were grown adults. You're an adult. You know what you want. You know what you're doing. Nobody forced you to get on a plane and fly to South America, right? Nobody forced you to do any of these things. But you took it among yourself to do it because you felt, I can't say on camera, but you had certain feelings towards this male stripper, right? And whatever's weird, you lust to do. Jeremiah 4:22 says, my people are sottish. They're wise to do evil, but to do good, they're foolish. They're sottish. But to do good, they have no knowledge. So you can see how easy it is to manipulate Eve when it's something different, when it's something weird. right? When it's something mysterious, they're going to run for that. So let's go into this man's education. This man was educated in a college. Let me see where his college is. He was educated in St. Francis College in Zimbabwe, right? In the 1900s, 1966 he graduated. Let's see what read on this college. In fact, he took up, obviously, Roman Catholicism. It says it's a Jesuit origins are reflected to its official name, St. Francis Xavier College, the school of part of Kutume mission, a Roman Catholic mission originally run by Jesuits. And you got to do the history on the Jesuits, the Reformationists, and how they went around, especially in Africa. This is why Africa has a high rate of Christianity. They feel that they've converted uncivilized people over to Christianity. This is what they say, because they didn't have the word and gospel. But these Jesuits had slaves, but they were reading the Christian book. But what they would do is give us the Christian book, and then they would take out things of the Christian book and keep it for themselves. So the root of all of the Jesuits, the Roman Catholic Catholicism, was all based on lies and hypocrisy. Right? Lies. The word hypocrisy goes back to actors, which goes back to liars. The Roman Catholic mission, originally run by the Jesuits, now run by the Maris brothers at a Catholic order. Come on, man. You so-called black people in Africa trying to stand up for your black rights, but you have sided with a black college. And this is what I said before. This is what they had done. We had a origin in the belief. Some of us were sacrificing, and they understood, according to the scriptures, that the most Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice. We didn't have to sacrifice anymore. So they ran with that, but then they started sacrificing us because we wouldn't believe. They would take whatever they want out of the Bible and make it work for them. Now another man is Franz Fanner, right? I'm not even going to read on this, but he's attended high schools or whatever. In 1845, he is a theologian. In 1846 to 48, he was sick, Austrian. I'm not going to read all of it, but he was responsible for also, when you look at the history of it, Steve Biko, and then would have looked up to these type of people. This is why Steve Biko was another Martin Luther King in a sense, where they set him up to keep order and keep peace, but they still killed him, right? Because they wasn't having that. He was a formation of the missionary order of Marion Hill. 1906, Pope Pius approved constitutions of the missionary sisters of the precious blood. The missionary sisters. Also, this goes into where the black conscious have then adopted a little Roman Catholicism, but then they kind of cut that off and they brought in the Egyptology aspect of it, because you had our people following Islam, right? And Egyptology. We was in all kinds of things over there, man. So that branch, that set off of the black consciousness community, all stemmed from the Roman Catholicism. This is Hosea 10. This is called the retribution of Israel's sin. This is why we're in a condition, and we see now that Brother Polite has been wiped away. At least he's tucked away in a nice prison. Probably scamming in there again. They know who he is. Right? He's got a good gift for gab, so he'll talk good in there. They got Nature Boy. There's various others that this man Shaka Amos allegedly laid with his stepdaughter, did the same thing to her. This is your black conscious community. It says, ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou didst trust in thy ways and the multitude of thy mighty men. Right? All this, these guys are getting it from all you people who are following this black conscious community. The Lord is wroth, and you know, you will be, you know, taken out behind that behavior. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, and you know, you really can't say too much because you know how it's going to go. But it's kind of crazy how Nature Boy, all these years, you know, in the Queen of Heaven, they were allowed to fly down, and Carbon Nation, and he was laying with his woman with the baby on him. Nobody said nothing. He was just doing all kinds of wickedness. They let Eve have their way until he got out of control, and then they start snitching. And then there was a lot of issue with it. You already know how it go down. So anyway, this man gets what he get. And all you people who followed them, you know, y'all get what y'all get. You know, y'all was in support of the black conscious community. You got to deal with the black conscious consequences. You know, you reaped what you sow. And they had all these problems. They setting up debates, and it's the black Hebrews against the Egyptologists, Brother Nibiru and Jabari, all kinds of weirdos upholding and lifting the black woman up, putting her up as God, the only woman on the planet that's being calling themselves queens, and their partners, their husbands, calling them queens. The men are calling them queens, and they're doing nothing as a man to lead them as a so-called queen, as a king. And the women haven't figured that out. So if you haven't figured it out from Polite, Shaka Amos, Brother Reggie, who's a thief, from what I understand, things that happen with him, Nature Boy, come on, man. Alleged allegations against Sandnetta, I'm not sure, with some financial stuff, I'm not sure. But there's a whole mess, a slew of mess surrounding this black conscious community, right? We wasn't called black. Well, they called us black, but we're not black. You know, it kind of makes sense why they set the tone to call us black, which means void of light, destruction. Because if you could call yourself black, like the black Hebrew Israelites, the reason why they're doing that, because it separates us from the so-called white Hebrew Israelites. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.